All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, Allison.
Oh.
Is that water?
It is, unfortunately.
Oh, good for you.
I would rather be having wine, but that's okay.
Hello, welcome to Queer Cinema Catchup. I'm Joe.
And I'm Allison.
This is the podcast we're talking about movies, TV, and miscellaneous topics through a queer lens. And today we were talking about the movie The Night of the Iguana with our very special returning guests, Fish Jelly. How are you guys?
Good.
Good, how are you?
How are you?
And of course we have Allison remote. We have Fish Jelly in person talking about our second Tennessee Williams related piece of media on this podcast. The Night of the Iguana is directed by the legendary John Huston. It is an atmospheric drama based on the 1961 play by Tennessee Williams. It's a powerful story about broken people colliding at the end of their ropes, set against the backdrop of a dilapidated, steamy hotel on the coast of Mexico. The film follows T. Lawrence Shannon, played by Richard Burton, a defrocked Episcopal priest, now working as a third-rate tour guide. In the midst of a nervous breakdown, he's accused of statutory rape involving a young tourist played by Sue Lyon, pursued by her judgmental chaperone, Miss Fellows,
Seducer,
and hijacks his tour bus, stranding his passengers at the remote, crumbling hotel of his old friend, the tough, earthy, and recently widowed Maxine Falk, played by Ava Gardner. Their volatile reunion is complicated by the arrival of two other guests, Hannah, played by Deborah Kerr, a gentle, ethereal wandering artist, and her 97-year-old grandfather, played by Cyril Delavanti, the world's oldest living poet, as she puts it. The film becomes a spiritual and emotional pressure cooker as these four damaged souls clash and connect, wrestling with their desires, their pasts, and their desperate need for some kind of salvation.
Yes, I believe that Reverend Shannon would say that he was not defrocked.
Yes, I love it. I've never heard the word defrocked used so many times.
I got locked out. I'm like, okay.
Nick, you suggested this movie. Was there any particular reason?
It's been about 20 years since I've watched the film.
Wow.
And it was between this and Boom, I believe. I'm
Yes.
a big fan of Boom, even though that's, as John Waters called, a piece of failed art that he loves. But this has a great cast, and I've been wanting to rewatch it for a long time, and Joseph had never seen it, so I was happy that this was selected.
Your memory of viewing it 20 years ago, how did that hold up to your experience of watching it this time?
About the same. I like it and respect it, but I don't love it. I feel like it's trying a bit hard, and it's kind of on the cusp of, because I think it's the last Broadway hit of Tennessee Williams' career, and everything kind of went downhill after that for him, and with various adaptations and etc. So it kind of is a tipping point. But I love the cast. I love almost all of the cast. I don't like Sue Lyon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was excited to revisit it, and I still am a fan. But I think it's compromised in several ways.
Where does Boom fall on? Does this come after The Night of the Iguana?
Yeah, Boom, I want to say, is 68, and that's Joseph Losey, and starring Liz Taylor and Richard Burton. And then you have in 70 is Last of the Mobile Hotshots, which is an adaptation of The Seven Descents of Myrtle, and that's Sidney Lumet did that. Everything flopped pretty hard after that.
So The Night of the Iguana was like his last...
The last
hit,
and because it got 5 Oscar nominations, 1 win. But that's kind of the last time that the prestige Tennessee Williams. This was the last of that era.
And a lot of his stuff, they were plays first, then made into movies.
Yes.
Okay.
And this one had a weird trajectory. I think it was a story, and then a 1-act play, and then he turned it into a 3-act structure play. And I think you can tell a little bit.
That's so interesting. I did not know that. I read the 3-act version of the play. I'm curious what part was the part that was in both.
Yeah, the evolution. I'm not sure. I have read the play, and I brought my little old paperback copy that I have. But that was also years ago when I wrote that. And we can talk about some of the innate differences, but one of which really sticks out involving some Nazis. But
yeah. A little teaser for everybody.
Yeah.
Nick, we asked you what your kind of reaction was. Joseph, I want to give you a chance to, as a first-time viewer, what did you think? And then Joe and I can say what our first reactions to the film were as well.
I enjoyed it. I did think it was long in the tooth. There are a lot of characters, specifically a bus full of women, who I kind of wanted more from.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, it doesn't compare to Suddenly Last Summer or
Streetcar.
or Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Well, that's Edward Albee, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wait.
But also, Richard Burton.
Yeah. But no, I did enjoy it.
Okay. At first I thought I didn't like the movie, but then in reading, I think it was some of the performances that made it hard for me to connect with what they were experiencing emotionally. But then when I read the script and could actually sit with the dialogue, I realized I really did like what the movie was trying to do, and it made me think back on certain scenes and like them more. But I felt like, and I also think that the structural, I know why they added in the scene of Reverend Shannon giving his terrible sermon that sends all the parishioners running out the door to kind of show us what happened to get him to be a tour bus guide. But I thought the movie was going to be very different based on that opening and then the cut to the bus. And so when we get to the hotel and we then meet this painter and her grandfather, who's a poet, I was like, what is this movie? What is going on with this movie?
Mm-hmm.
And the women that was kind of that's my confused reaction is all I'm going to say.
And we're comparing it to Suddenly Last Summer because that's the last thing that we all talked about on this. And I feel like that movie, it was so easy to just like digest what was happening. It was just like a very contained story, whereas I do feel like we were bouncing between a lot more characters in this movie. So I was trying to see where it was going. Because yes, we have the thing happening between Richard and Sue. And then we also have the thing happening with Hannah. Is that her name? It's like, and Maxine, it's like who... I was trying to figure out like who are like, if they were to be like an archetype, how they all fall in place. And Maxine's calling Hannah a liar, but then Hannah seems really like genuine and sweet. So I was like confused on what was everyone's motive. And then too, where like Suddenly Last Summer was so clearly the son that had passed away was a homosexual, and that was clear. And going to this movie, I also was assuming that Tennessee Williams I thought that Richard Burton's character was going to turn out to be gay by the end of it, but no,
interesting.
It wasn't the case. I was like waiting because that's why I thought he was like so flustered in the beginning, and then I was like, surely that must be the connection, but no, it was the
repressed lesbian.
Well, yeah. Oh my.
Which was interesting. They gave the lines to Maxine, implying that the other woman was a lesbian, but in the play, it's actually Reverend Shannon that says it to her.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know why they shifted it.
Yeah, and you said one of the big changes from the play is it doesn't start out at the church.
No, and yes, and so to connect, what I was trying to say was I can see why they added that big long sequence in, but I feel like that made it less immediate what was going on, and you were kind of expecting the movie. I was expecting the movie to be about this man who preys on young women. Mm-hmm. And that's like a very small piece of it, I would say. But just like the setup and the attention paid to Sue's character, Charlotte, in the beginning really made me think that that was the heart of the story, when in reality, it's really not.
Yeah. It also just stressed me out, like Shanna could never get Charlotte to go away. Like they just kept ending up in situations where they're alone in a room together. I'm like, you could do more
to push her away.
To push her away.
But it's like he can't help himself.
Yeah.
Like even when because it's almost like she's sexually harassing him.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then when they kiss, it's like he does open his mouth and kiss her back.
Yeah, and so it's like a really interesting character story. Like, is he genuinely flustered? Is he flustered because he like actually wants it, or I was trying to figure that out the whole time.
I think that I read somewhere that he's supposed to be kind of representative of Tennessee Williams' own struggles with spirituality and his, closeted sexuality. So I think maybe that's where he knows better than what he should be doing, but he can't help himself anyway, I'm guessing. But in the film, he comes across as really passive.
I interpreted the Reverend as battling his desire versus his duty. Like I signed up to be a Reverend, so I'm supposed to avoid my carnal urges, but I can't.
Right.
So I'm in trouble. And I think, do you feel like that's why he suffered from anxiety and having these outbursts?
Right, but yes, and he's also about to lose his current job, which is kind of the driving the mechanism of this plot. But it's like he's so passive about it that he can't help himself. Like if there's a woman hitting on him, he's just he can't say no. That's his compulsion.
That was kind of how I saw it too. And I think it was both duty, but also he truly does feel maybe the calling and is interested in spirituality and meaning and purpose, but can't shut off the other part of himself, which led to one of my favorite lines. I forget when this happened, but when he talks about how his father was a bishop and his grandfather was a bishop or something like that, and then he goes, but there were collateral branches of our family, men with appetites.
They knew hunger and they fed their appetites. They fed their appetites that I have inherited.
I don't know. That line made me laugh.
He has several kind of very funny, bizarre lines like that. Because there's one about he's describing the women on the bus as having cerebral episodes or something.
Oh no, that's the poet. His granddaughter is saying that he might have had a stroke.
Oh yes.
And he goes, they're not strokes, they're just cerebral incidents.
They're mini strokes. He probably doesn't even notice it.
Which I thought that was an important line because I feel like the Reverend, he seems to make a lot of excuses for everyone. Because I feel like he wants excuses made for him.
For himself, yes.
Yeah, that also happens when he's on the hammocks.
All women, whether they want to face it or not, want to see a man in a tied-up situation. They spend their lives trying to get a man into a tied-up situation. Their lives are fulfilled when they can get a man, or as many men as they can, into a tied-up situation.
He had a lot of monologues in this.
Yes,
movie.
yes, he certainly did. But yeah,
did.
like the metaphorical iguana that's tied in the basement and the literal one, like he's literally tied in that scene. And like to me, the iguana is kind of in like a Freudian way, the id, like the lizard brain.
I like that.
Since it's all about repression, I guess, but well, it very obviously seems to speak to that. But so that's, he thinks that women want to put him in that situation, but that his own sexuality, his own compulsions are what he's struggling with and what he's tied kind of in a closet.
He's a desperate man. He ran a church. He was kicked out. Now he's in Mexico giving tours. Then we find out that he's on probation because his previous tour was a mess. And now this one is a wreck. And he just doesn't seem aware that he's the problem.
He seems like he's on his way to rock bottom.
Yeah.
Is where he seems like, oh.
Can we talk about the ladies on the tour bus?
Yes.
Because the main lady...
Miss Fellows.
Grayson Hall in her only Oscar-nominated performance.
Oh, really?
Oh.
She's probably best known for Dark Shadows, but she had an interesting stage and screen career for sure.
You know who she reminded me of? Joan Crawford.
I could see that. Oh, Joan never did a Tennessee film, but the Ava Gardner character was originated by Bette Davis on Broadway.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
And who did Richard Burton originate the stage play too, or was it someone else?
I don't remember. I don't know if
Okay.
Burton. I'd have to double check that.
I don't think so.
What's interesting though is Richard Chamberlain also played this character on stage in the 70s.
Oh, interesting.
Speaking of sexually repressed priests with homosexual history, and then Burton, of course, played a lot of preachers and pastors in his career.
Oh yeah, I just looked this up. Back in 1964, he's a Catholic archbishop. The Night of the Iguana, same year, he's the Episcopal minister. The Sandpiper in 1965, he's an Episcopal priest. The Exorcist 2 in 1977, he's a Jesuit priest. And in Absolution in 1978, he's a Catholic priest. And it looks like there is a long-standing film legend that Burton provided the uncredited voice for the priest in Dr. Zhivago in 1965. Wow, that's so interesting.
Judith Fellows on the bus, she's kind of like the moral police.
Yes. Yeah, she's in charge.
I assume you know that Charlotte is underage, Dr. Shannon?
What's that got to do with our itinerary?
If you know what's good for you, leave her alone.
Because she's on this trip, this ladies only trip, and she's the chaperone, like you said, for Charlotte, who's a nymphette.
She had just got done playing Lolita. So
You already said it, Joe, but she made me so anxious. She will not leave that man alone.
Charlotte, yeah.
But Judith is telling the Reverend, like, don't make me take steps. Like, she's watching him. Like, I will report you. He knows that there's someone monitoring him, and he still can't
Keep it together.
keep it together. It made me so anxious, and I felt so bad for him.
I like the symbolism of the idea that he isn't recognizing that he's kind of the one at fault or it's his own compulsion that's driving him. But I feel like the way they painted it, that he was so powerless or he felt that way, and that Sue's character just didn't feel very real. You know, it kind of bothered me as I started to watch the film. And then the scene at the end where he's all tied up, when I read it, I felt like I connected more with how he was like completely falling apart. But in the play, in the movie, I just couldn't. It felt like way too heightened for the situation. And yeah, so it lost me there.
You also didn't care for Charlotte.
I don't. Well, I think Sue Lyon is a really boring screen presence.
I kind of think it made sense because if this man has this compulsion, and then you have this obvious problem who is kind of boring and basic, and he still can't fight her off, I think that makes sense. Like, he has no control.
Yes, he doesn't. I don't think he has self-control, like the Laura Branigan song.
But she is annoying.
She is, and I think that's her backstory, right? Is she's on the trip because she was out of control at home.
Right.
Yeah, why she's there on the trip in the first place and then has a chaperone. But yeah, it's almost like Miss Fells, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like from the get-go, she's like, I know you're up to no good. And then no good happens.
I'm watching you. My brother's a judge.
Yeah,
I will report you.
It was giving me A Room with a View vibes. Has anyone ever read or seen that movie?
No.
Yes, with Maggie Smith and what's his name, Julian, who died recently.
Julian Sands.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good book and film. Yeah.
It is. I love it. That, and then I was also kind of reminded of, very weirdly and not as literary, Maxine's character was kind of reminding me of Meryl Streep in Mamma Mia. She runs this hotel, and then at the end, she's like she needs help, and yeah, that's giving me Mamma Mia vibes.
Shoving bar carts into people to force them to take a drink or offering weed instead.
Meryl Streep's such a good actor. I almost wondered if she's never revealed that she was inspired by
that role
movie.
Speaking of Ava Gardner, did you feel, because I read that Elizabeth Taylor was on set because her husband was there.
That was part of the drama. And
Do you feel like Ava was trying to give Liz Taylor in that performance?
Maybe. I think this is a great late period Ava Gardner role. I think she's really fantastic in it, especially that scene at the end. But there was all kinds of weird because at the time, I don't think Burton and Taylor were married. So it was a scandal that was going on. And then I think his agent was her ex, Michael Wilding.
Oh.
So there was that drama going on as well. But yeah, I think Ava, that was probably a role Liz would have wanted. Because I want to say that's 64. I think they were both still under contract because that same year they did a film that's not very good called The Sandpiper, which I think he's also a preacher in. And it's terrible. It's very soapy. So I think, and you know, afterwards they were choosing all these projects that they worked on together. And of course, the big one was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. But, and Liz Taylor was, of course, in several Tennessee Williams plays. So that was probably a role she maybe did want to play.
Interesting.
I think her performance was my favorite part of the movie and what I connected to the most throughout.
Ava Gardner, that name, I know it, but I don't recognize her, and I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything before.
Oh God, she was one of the great screen beauties. I remember the first time I saw her in a movie magazine. It was a still from The Killers with Burt Lancaster. There's a very famous still of her. I think she's leaning on a table with a black dress. She's like breathtakingly gorgeous. It was the same magazine where there's a great spread of Pam Grier and Queen Latifah, by the way. But yeah, only one Oscar nomination, I think, for Mogambo, but Barefoot Contessa is a big one. I think her own beauty, people didn't take her as seriously during her career, but she had a really great resume.
And you were saying this is like later down the line. This is one of her later roles?
Yeah, she's like 42 here. I think she makes more sense actually than Bette Davis, who was, I mean, this would have been Bette Davis the same year as Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte, so much older. So I think she's in that nice ripe period, because there's an allusion to like Deborah Carr's age is like, I'm pushing 40. And I think Ava Gardner says like, well, who isn't?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, these are women that are already seen as gone to seed even in their own careers, which is ridiculous because I think I think they both are beautiful and look fantastic. But I think this was kind of a little bit of a comeback for her.
And then I also don't think I've ever seen Richard Burton in a movie either. But funny enough, I've seen, there's a Simpsons episode where apparently the actor playing Homer like was impersonating Richard Burton in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
How would you like me to take it? Go ahead, Bart. Have your fun. I'll be waiting for you. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
And nothing could be worse for a girl in your unstable condition to be mixed up with a man in my unstable condition.
And it's the affectation that he puts on in this movie. Like I immediately thought, I was like, oh, it's that Homer impersonation that he's doing. Like is that kind of like, does he carry that out in all speed? Like this like flustered energy almost?
Yes.
And drunk.
And he was a notorious alcoholic.
In real life.
Oh yeah, by the 70s he was. You should look up, there's some clips from some fight scenes from a movie called The Klansman.
Oh, yes.
Where he is drunk, and you can tell. He had a big drinking problem. But I think we were commenting, even by 64, because he was like 38 here or something. He looks a little older than that. But for him, I thought he looked kind of good. The juice hadn't gotten to him too bad yet. But
we get a scene of him coming out of the ocean in his undies. And they fully waxed his torso because he's a very hairy man.
So Bosley Crowther of the New York Times wrote, he didn't like Burton's performance. He said he's a pot-bellied scarecrow flapping erratically.
Oh my gosh.
I thought he was cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bosley was kind of a bitch.
Just a question I had. I forget what was the word he used to describe when he feels unwell.
Spooked.
And he was felt spooked. I couldn't, and then they kept saying, have a drink, and he maybe was an alcoholic, and I couldn't tell if this was a real psychological experience or if it was a code for he's in withdrawal, and that's what was going on. In the play, I kind of came around to the conclusion that this is a metaphor for, existential despair or questioning or what have you.
Yeah.
But did anybody else have thoughts about what it represents, or did they think, like I did, that maybe he was
You mean when he,
ill?
like all the times he was saying he like couldn't touch alcohol, you think it was symbolic?
Like I thought it was strange that they kept pointing that out, implying that he had an issue with alcohol in the past, I thought maybe he was lying.
Well, yeah, because he says it like 4 or 5 times, the line of like, once I have one, I can't stop. And it kind of gets, it's like a repeated beat.
And he kept saying he had a fever, which could be a physical manifestation of withdrawal. So that's sort of where my mind went at different points.
But when you say withdrawal, what do you mean? A withdrawal of?
From alcohol. From being addicted to alcohol. Like I thought that maybe was bringing on the like feverish psychosis like.
Probably. I mean, it seems like he used drinking as a tool to.
I think that,
and an excuse to.
I could buy into that, like in conjunction with his anxiety and.
Well, the hammock scene, he did start drinking again because I think we're supposed to believe he's sober, getting to what's the name of Ava Gardner's play? I keep thinking like mesothelioma.
I forget. I think that might be. That sounds.
It starts with an M. But when he gets there and he runs up the stairs and she's like, "Oh, when did you fall off the wagon?" And he says, "I didn't."
Yes, that was when I began to think. Oh, okay, so that's what's happening to him. That's why he's falling apart and why he's making these bad decisions again.
So yeah, maybe it isn't alcohol per se. It's just that's an easier excuse to explain his problems.
Sure.
Hannah, and what's that actor's kind of like history?
Oh, Deborah Carr, 6 times nominated, never won. Fantastic career, British actress. You have to see her in a movie called The Innocents.
Okay.
Truman Capote adapted Henry James' Turn of the Screw. Excellent performance. But King and I with Yul Brynner, that's a huge one.
I've seen that.
Okay, yeah, that's her. Another queer-related film, Tea and Sympathy, which is very coded, but she's helping a fey young man with himself, who's kind of a social outcast because of his feminine...
His disability.
His way. But Tea and Sympathy is a big one. The Sundowners, Black Narcissus, the Powell and Pressburger. That's a beautiful film. But yeah, like huge star, 40s, 50s, 60s. I think never got her due.
And then this is directed by John Huston too. Who's,
Angelica's daddy.
yeah.
Yes, and the son of Walter.
Whoa, I did not put that together.
Oh, isn't that a nice surprise?
Apparently, he sent the 5 principal cast members a gold-plated pistol with 1 bullet, and each of them had a co-star's name on the bullet.
So it was a tense shooting.
or he wanted to manufacture some tension. I'm not sure, but yeah, John Huston. And then another interesting thing to note is the cinematographer is Gabriel Figueroa, who I think this is also his only Oscar nod as a cinematographer, but he often worked with a very notable Mexican director, Emilio Fernandez. And Emilio Fernandez has a cameo in this.
As the bartender?
The bartender that's telling Sue Lyon, like, I don't want you
I'm
to
a
listen
rich bitch. That's what he tells her.
I don't want you to listening to my music. That's a very notable director.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, and then too, I don't know if you know any of the history of like why they chose to film this in black and white, because it makes it feel kind of like older than it is. And curious too that it's like set in like this like lush, beautiful place in Mexico, but then it's like removed of color, which is beautiful in its own way. But I wonder like what the choice.
Yeah,
of
that's
that
true. By
was.
64, yeah, I'm not unless maybe some of the people like Richard looked better in black and white. Maybe maybe he looked a little rough. I don't know.
Speaking of the location,
I think this made PV famous.
Is it? It's what put it on the
Put it on the
map.
map.
which I kind of love that Tennessee Williams is kind of responsible for this gay
Yeah.
hotspot.
Have you guys been to Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah,
I've been in Puerto Vallarta many times. Yeah.
Okay.
it's the Mexican West Hollywood.
There's a restaurant there called, the name may have adjusted. Like I think now it's called the Iguana.
Okay.
But there used to be a restaurant called the Night of the Iguana.
But there's some allusions, like some similarities to Suddenly Last Summer, really, with this poet that takes a very long time to write something, and of course, it's a made-up location in that film, Cabeza de Lobo. But this has a similar vibe in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then interesting too, like the ghosts of the past. Like Maxine's husband passed on not too recently, so like that's like still like lingering throughout the movie. And same thing with Suddenly Last Summer is you have the son that's passed away and talking about in the past tense. I don't know. Does like Tennessee Williams often kind of have like that ghost presence?
I mean, Streetcar, Blanche's first husband, that is kind of a ghost that haunts things that might have been a homosexual that something happened to, if I recall correctly. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Did he also do Cat on Hudson Roof?
Yep.
He loves having like animals connected.
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot of
symbolic.
It's weird. I think there's somebody. Oh, in Glass Menagerie, there's a rainbow scarf somewhere in there. And that play, I want to say, was that the movie version 1950. I forget the year of the play, but of course, which became a symbol of the community. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it was at that point. I don't remember.
From what I remember about the Glass Menagerie, I think that the son is supposed to be a stand-in for Williams, and so I think that there is a queer coding to it. Whether or not the rainbow scarf was an intentional part of that, I don't remember that part, but I'm sure it's in there.
Well, the rainbow connection, Puerto Vallarta connection, carving out our modern day.
The cornerstone of gay symbols, Tennessee Williams.
So they end up getting to Ava Gardner's resort, but that wasn't the plan. They had reservations to stay somewhere else. And I have to say, the ladies singing on the bus
I forgot about that. Yeah.
would drive me crazy too. So.
What was the song? Happy Days Are Here Again.
But he hijacks the bus from his driver.
That was wild. Again, that messed up my expectations for the film too. I think I texted Joe at the moment being like, this is kind of hilarious. Like he is kidnapping them. I kind of thought it was going to be more high energy based on that scene. Mm-hmm. And then it was. Then they were kind of in one location after that. But
yeah, I mean, it's comical too because like Miss Fellows is like such a hawk. She has like her eyes on him at all times. And after she's like scolded him, they're all devastated. All the women are ignoring him. They load on the bus. And then somehow he gets into the driver's seat and they don't notice until he's like steering them down. It looked like he was about to crash. Like,
right, I thought you're driving in the ocean. Oh God.
I did. Yeah, was he about to kill them?
But he has several like breakdowns, right? The opening in the church, the taking over of the bus, and then in the end when he's tied to a hammock. Mm-hmm. So I think it's meant to show.
Yes, his mental state.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Hannah and her granddad showing up to Ava Gardner's resort?
Yes.
Because they seem so prim and proper. Because Ava Gardner's character says, I'm closed during this season.
Mm-hmm. So why the hell are you here?
Right. But Richard Burton says, I think you can convince her She can be convinced. Okay, fine, it's going to be $6. And then Hannah says, oh no, we don't have money. We're going to pay in poetry and sketches. And then this lady says that they've been to every hotel in PV and this shit didn't work. I thought that was a bold move.
Well, and also Richard Burton is he's like, yeah, she should stay here. Like,
but why is he so? Yeah, he is so gung ho about.
Well, it's almost like the Maxine and Hannah are like devil and angel. Also, like I think he can tell that maybe her energy can help balance him out a bit.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. But I already mentioned this, but I had strong feelings about his character. People like him who require a lot of excuses be made for them.
Yes.
That they want to also like give that grace to other people.
Pay it forward.
Yeah. So I think that's why he was so forgiving about everything around him.
He also seemed like a person that can't be alone with himself. And maybe that's kind of maybe the ultimate crux of what's going on is like he can't, because even at the end, right, he's basically begging Hannah, like, let's go off together alone, or together, because we're both out of sorts, because he doesn't, and she leaves and he decides to stay with Maxine.
Yes.
Like he can't be alone.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree that I thought that they represented, like they were a split, Maxine and Hannah's character, and Hannah represented kind of the spirit that he wants to attend to. He wants to be someone who is so very good, and then someone of the earth, of the body, more represented by Maxine.
Ooh, I like that.
And in the end, he thinks that he can choose the life of the spirit because he's had this dark night of the soul with Hannah that has moved them both. And she's sort of like, that's actually not going to work. Like, you are a man of the body of the earth and I am not. And so I'm going to leave you here. And then, he can't be alone. So I kind of was moved that they ended up together. I kind of felt like two people who both know one another completely and care enough about one another that they're gonna find happy memories. So I thought that was kind of moving.
They felt like there would be no judgment between them.
Maxine has these two young, handsome men working for her.
Yeah.
That are always shaking
their maracas.
The maracas would have driven me crazy. Like,
I mean, am I like it?
But they were almost like taunting, like they're just like making eye contact, just like shaking their rockets, like okay.
But am I correct in thinking that they were there to serve her sexual needs?
she said that in not so many words.
But
Good for her.
But at one point, the Reverend has a line where he says, like, even when Frank was alive, he'd always go fishing, and it sounded like he was implying that she was still sleeping with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So there was no really like physical connection between Frank and Maxine, maybe, or they they kind of like split in interest.
What was interesting was that Fred was also significantly older than Maxine, and so you have these three different age gap couples. If you look at it like Maxine and Fred.
Oh, I didn't even connect that. Wow.
But then also just to add a little bit more context to what you said, Joe, Maxine said that at some point her and Fred stopped having a sexual relationship, and he kind of knew that was happening and it was okay. Was what, or at least what she thought. Who knows because he's not in the play. We can't really for sure know his opinion.
But he loved fishing.
Yeah. Got with his boots on.
Speaking of fish, there's a character, Chang, who's like the cook.
Yeah.
Did we only see him one time?
Yeah.
When she says you put weed in the
I think he's
enchiladas.
smoking weed, yeah.
It was kind of
very
odd.
random.
They mentioned him in the play a bunch too, like maybe 3 or 4 times. I don't think he actually appears. And they kept saying, you have to stay because we have an amazing Chinese cook and he can make anything. I forget, but the things that they listed that he can make, it was odd. It was something that I feel like was definitely of the 60s.
But part of the reason Hannah gets to stay is because she says she can cook, right?
All she does is chop those fish heads off. She's like, they're ready to boil. Like, okay.
I loved the editing in that scene too. She's like very like says a line and like chops the head off the fish.
And then those fish look like, ooh. That's in because I think one of the first times I heard marijuana mentioned in an older film was also Tennessee Williams' Sweet Bird of Youth.
Okay.
With Geraldine Page is this aging actress in that, and she's smoking weed all the time. But because you didn't see a lot of marijuana mentions in Hollywood cinema.
No.
back
Yeah.
then.
What Reefer Madness?
I think that's the 30s.
The 30s,
That,
okay.
and that propaganda film where everyone's going crazy because they smoke weed.
And then, I mentioned it before. I just love that out of all people, Maxine offers Miss Fellows, the most uptight person, offers her weed.
Some weed, yes. Yeah, and she's like, you really need this.
So when the Reverend hijacks the bus and takes all the ladies to Ava Gardner's resort, of course they're upset. They don't want to be there because they have reservations somewhere else. But they do settle in. And then Charlotte keeps bugging
She will not let him go.
to the point where doesn't he walk on broken glass?
He
trying to
is
convince
walking
Yes,
her-
and then
I
she's
forgot
like,
about
I'm
that
going to do
part.
it too.
Yeah.
That was another part where I could not relate to what was going on the screen.
Well, like, can you imagine?
That did feel like a lot.
Cuts on your feet in that climate, like you're gonna
It's
get an
awful.
infection.
Yeah.
But
And then she goes, I'll do it too.
Yeah.
And these people, I couldn't understand.
stupid girl.
Yeah. Well, and then there was this sense of insecurity too. She kept bringing up her like father and how if you get with her, everything will be okay because her father's really successful, and then you'll be successful too. It was weird how that was like a last ploy. She's like, oh, not only do you get me, but you get the wealth of my family.
In Thunder Oaks or wherever the hell,
Yeah.
Thunder Bay. Well, to me, I thought she might have some daddy issues too, because clearly bringing home a man that's her father's age would be a problem.
But then when it doesn't work out with Shannon, then she just jumps on
To the bus driver.
to the bus driver,
Hank.
Skip Ward.
who was like probably looked closer in age, probably still older.
Yes.
but
Still
looked
older,
closer
but
in age.
less alarming, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Seemed
he's
more
some
appropriate.
Pretty dumb
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
That actor had an interesting career, and he produced some Playboy skin flicks in the 90s.
Ooh.
Skip Ward.
That character's name is Hank. And at a point, Charlotte runs off. So she's in town acting a fool.
That's what the dancing. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Hank comes to sort of like protect her dignity.
From the brown men. Mm-hmm.
And those brown men whoop his ass to the beat of the music. And I thought that was very funny.
Yes. And he goes on a long time trying to.
He doesn't
through
get one
that.
swing in.
No.
They just beat him up. I thought
Yeah.
that was good.
That was great.
So Maxine confronts Hannah about, like, she seems like she's jealous that Hannah wants Shannon.
Yes.
I kind of felt like I didn't quite see that. Like, I didn't think Hannah was trying to take her man.
I
Like,
didn't think so either. But was it a misunderstanding? Is this in the kitchen when they're chopping the fish? As they have this discussion? Because there's the line where Maxine calls Shannon a hustler.
Yes.
She said, "You're a
No,
hustler."
isn't it
That's in
after when they have the confrontation?
I don't know. I thought that was
Or
kind of
is
their
it the
first
kitchen
that's
scene?
their first heart to heart.
I mean, I just feel like Maxine just seemed to be suspicious or frustrated with Hannah from the start.
Sure, yeah.
And then, I think throughout the movie, it's like, oh, is there some jealousy there? But yeah, I didn't seem like Hannah had any interest in Shannon. But then also, I guess it speaks to just how good Hannah is. But she just, from the very beginning, like wants to help Shannon. And Maxine, in that like fish chopping scene, like Maxine sees it as she's trying to make her, she even says like, you're just trying to make yourself useful so you can stay here. I see your whole ploy. But then Shannon's like, no, I see that the ladies on the bus, they're having a hard time with Shannon. If their bellies are full and they have a good meal, then they'll be
Yes.
kinder to them. Which
Yeah.
it was hard for me to tell. I also couldn't tell her motives, but then by the end of the movie, I decided that she was true and pure to her words.
Yeah, I think she is, but she also is a hustler. She's not. She's realistic.
She's realistic.
Yeah.
But she never does it in secret, I thought she always kind of like later.
Yeah,
Cards
her
out.
cards are on the table. Like, I can't pay for this, but I'll write a picture. I'll paint a picture, and
Yeah.
But that is a hustler, though.
Yeah. Because Shannon has a line too. He's like, you're poor, aren't you? She's like, yes. And he's like, aren't you upset by that? She's like, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
that's
I liked
right.
that line. It was good. I think you said it just is what has happened to
Yes.
us.
Oh, that,
Yes,
And I was like,
that's
you know what?
right.
That's a good philosophy for life. This is
Yes.
just what has happened.
Yeah.
Nothing human disgusts me, Mr. Shannon. Unless it's unkind or violent.
She has most of the. Her other great line was something about how she's not opposed to any human behavior that's not
Yes.
cruel or unkind. I'm paraphrasing, but
Yeah.
I think that's it. Nothing human
Yeah.
disgusts me unless it is unkind or violent.
yes.
Yes.
I also love that line. It was in the play. It also was giving me therapist.
Yes.
You know, like a very psychoanalytic kind of perspective of we're gonna regard all human behavior as something that can be lovable, which was interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if that's when that shift happens. Shannon says the line to Maxine, implying that she was like sleeping with other men when Frank was alive. And then Maxine storms off, and then Hannah says to Shannon, that was a cruel thing to say. So I think maybe that was like a turn. That's why they didn't end up running off together at the end.
Well, she's kind of like, there's like a compendium of Iguana stuff going on because Hannah's father dies, and she's literally free now. Why does she want to be weighed down by another man?
Yeah.
So
Very good point. Another older man.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're probably around the same age. Actually, I take it back. But
And
still,
he could never be the oldest poet.
yeah.
No chance.
Hannah calls her grandfather Nono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Italian.
I think
Oh.
that means grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he looked like if you mixed Quentin Crisp with Andy Warhol.
Yeah, he did look decrepit. Mm-hmm.
So when the ladies on the bus decide to leave, Maxine has a confrontation with Judith.
Whose last name, now that I'm just thinking about, is Fellows,
Yeah.
which adds to her butchness.
Well, and she accuses her
Yeah.
of being a lesbian.
Yes,
That's why
yeah.
she's so uptight, yeah.
And she's like, what is she talking about? What does that mean?
Yeah, there was another good line, I think, from Shannon where he said, she's such a highly moral person. If she ever recognized the truth about herself, it would destroy her.
She's obsessed with Charlotte.
She is.
It's like beyond chaperoning.
Yes.
What's the movie with the older actress who's on a soap opera and she's in love with the younger woman, and then the younger woman starts dating another lady?
Oh.
Not a soap opera?
The older actress is like a soap opera star, and she's a lesbian, but she's closeted, and she starts seeing a younger woman. We reviewed it.
Is it
The Young and the Restless.
like
Days of Our Lives.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a lesbian film.
I think you reviewed it with Bill on Bad Gay Movies, maybe?
The Killing of Sister George.
The Killing of Sister George.
Yes, that's a
Whoa.
lesbian classic.
It's a lesbian classic.
Directed by Robert Aldrich, who did Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, 1968. Beryl Reid, Susanna York, Cole Brown.
Beryl Reed's, that's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, because we just talked about her in another movie. But yeah, it was rated X when it came out. Or I think
Because of the...
the lesbian. It shows scenes in an actual lesbian nightclub in London.
Oh my gosh.
So it's very.
Oh, what's the other one we just reviewed with the older woman who runs the brothel and she's in love with one of the younger?
Walk on the Wild Side.
Yes.
With Barbara Stanwyck and Capucine.
Barbara Stanwyck, that's right.
Lawrence Harvey. That's a great movie too.
I'd be remiss. You brought up the woman on the bus so many times. I've always wanted to mention one of my favorite characters is the woman who is like completely helpless at all times.
Yeah, Peebles. What do they call her?
Yeah, I loved her name. I loved it.
Who really had to use the bathroom because
She-
they had dysentery.
Yeah, but she's always like helpless. She'd be like, yeah, Judith, I need you. Which I wonder, was there something going on between them? I don't know.
I thought maybe. I
didn't
thought
not until I
maybe.
said that just now did I
Ooh.
connect that. Now, and okay, is Judith supposed to be explicitly queer? Was that the intention?
I think that's the intention because of how her mannerisms and we keep Grayson doesn't look that butch to me, but I think that keep putting that on her with the description that you know, just like when you were young and queer, people could probably tell before you could even articulate that about yourself, kind of thing. Is that is how the world is interpreting her as queer. Yeah.
I saw her being rigid, but also the hypocrisy of if she is a lesbian, like you should be a little more
Understanding.
empathetic.
Yeah.
Well, usually closeted queers are the least empathetic.
Right, but I mean, so
Yeah.
that's the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I thought that she was queer, but I agree with the Reverend's interpretation that she probably
Doesn't know.
doesn't want to know that about herself.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And so her obsession with keeping Charlotte safe and on the right path is really her obsession with Charlotte. I do think it's a little, tropey, the kind of like obsessed.
The obsessed lesbian. Judi Dench
Cool.
in Notes on a Scandal. Yeah. yeah.
Yeah, that was the movie I was thinking of when you were talking about the.
But yeah, I didn't even clock. Yeah, it wasn't even like her like physicality. It was more of just like the the obsession over Charlotte. Like I was like, what the hell is going on here? And it took me a slow time to like realize what was happening. But the first time when she got really upset that Charlotte and Shannon were in a room together, and then Judith's in bed like thinking that Charlotte's in the bed beside her. She's like, I'm so sorry. I got so angry. But I didn't know like what you're going to do. And I just was really worried. And then she like looks up and sees she's not there. And then immediately gets angry again. I was like, lady, you got to learn.
Yeah. That's kind of like a pillow talk moment.
Yes.
Like,
it was very,
this is eating me up.
Yeah.
But I think the real kind of telling moment is when she's at the beach and she sees them in the water.
She runs into
goddamn mind.
She loses her mind.
She loses her shit. It's like, what is going on?
Charlotte! You only got to come on this trip because of me! Charlotte!
Do you guys think that they could hear her? Because they kept cutting to the water and you could hear her screaming, I know you could hear me! Charlotte, Charlotte, Charlotte! And then they're just kind of swimming and they're not doing anything.
That's what confused me so much. Is like, why is it like, shouldn't Shannon be more protective? He's like, there's nothing going on here, but he never says any of that. He just kind of like lets it
happen.
Well, I think he just doesn't think like this woman can't do anything to me, kind of, because nothing is going on. He's deflecting from what we can see.
Yeah.
I think that's what's frustrating is that it's like, do you not see that you're creating a problem? Like, why don't you make it clear?
Like,
why
what did
don't
you think
you
we
try
were
harder?
doing in the water? Like,
But also, he wasn't doing anything. This young lady is being aggressive with him.
It's because he wanted it to happen.
Because doesn't he frame it at one point and says like, oh, she's a woman who seduces men or makes them kiss her?
Yes. I mean, he says a lot of things like that. Like he calls, I mean, it's a joke, but he's like statutory rape when, what does he say? When,
a woman under 20 bothers a man or something.
I think, I think that's the line I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because Ava Gardner's like, what is statutory rape?
Yes.
Foreign term to me.
So when the women leave the resort, it's clear that Judith is going to report the Reverend. So he has another panic attack and tries to kill himself by swimming into the ocean.
Yes.
And that's why he gets tied to the hammock. But good old Hannah has some herbal tea to calm him down.
Poppy seed. She has some opium.
But I thought the best moment in the film is Hannah and the Reverend having that exchange. And him asking her about her love experiences.
Have you never in your life had a love life?
Yes, I have had 2 experiences. Well, encounters with.
2.
Yes, I said 2.
So because Diane Keaton died, and one of my favorite performances of hers is called from a movie called Marvin's Room, 1996.
I haven't seen it.
And I haven't seen it since it came out, but we just watched it. That scene is very similar to Diane Keaton talking about her one love interest, because she plays an old spinster taking care of her father and aunt, Gwen Verdon and Hume Cronin. And
Diane Keaton's having a conversation with her sister, played by Meryl Streep.
And she's talking about the one love she had as a teenager.
Yeah, that is similar.
And Deborah Kerr's scene is very familiar.
But I thought it was so depressing, her 2 love experiences.
It was really sad.
The first one was when she was 16. Some man bumped into her knee.
During a movie.
And got accused of statutory rape.
As one does.
And then the second love experience was...
the man who wanted an article of her clothing.
But that was more recent. And he asked if he could have an article of her clothing to hold.
Didn't she call him like a short Australian man?
Yeah, a middle-aged bald Australian man.
Yes.
Yes.
What a specific description.
The picture was not pleasant or sexy.
No.
She felt happy to do something for him.
But she definitely was making a point that she was not attracted to this man.
And he did turn around and didn't see what I gave him.
But that segues her into the line that Allison mentioned about her not judging, which I thought it's so interesting that the person with the least experience seemed the most reasonable and fair.
Yeah, that's so true. I didn't think of it like that.
And I think I do feel hopeful for her at the end.
Now that she's free?
She's free. She doesn't have to carry this old man around.
She's poor, though.
That's okay. She seems...
She's at Venice Beach doing caricatures.
She's on Venice Beach.
selling her art.
I love, she even makes a point. She's like, no, I'm not very good. They're just sketches. Like, even herself is trying to undersell it.
So humble.
Yeah, she does sketch Richard Burton.
It's pretty
kind of
good.
fierce.
Yeah, I like that. I like.
You know what else made me super sad? So they have that iguana tied up with a rope. And he cuts the rope but doesn't remove it from the iguana's neck.
No, that damn iguana.
That's like the turtles
I
with
didn't even notice.
The Coke cans.
Oh, I was so upset.
Yeah, like take that off that poor lizard.
Yeah, that's sad.
And then Ava Gardner comes up. She's like, "What are you doing?" Like, what?
Which was it? Is it the 2 boys who caught the iguana because they were eventually gonna eat
They're
it.
going to eat it, yeah.
Because it tastes like chicken.
Just it.
But I think the idea, I miss this in the movie, but they would leave it there for a long time and feed it until it became very
Fattened it up.
large, and
Yeah.
then they
Oh,
would kill
okay.
it, which is horrible. So I'm glad they freed the iguana.
I did enjoy when Nono comes out of his room, like, I got it, I'm finished. Dictate my poem, and then he drops dead. And I thought, because his granddaughter says, like, I think that's why he wanted us to come here, because he wanted to die here and be buried in the Green Hills.
They call it the cradle of life also. He kept calling it that.
But I thought if I could will myself to die when I'm ready,
Oh, well.
That'd be
That's
so
the
good.
dream.
Like, today's the day.
After you write a great poem.
When I get my most amazing, we would do our most amazing podcast.
Dark. I don't know if I'm going to sign up for that, but I'll make your arrangements. I did really love the poem. I thought it
Yes.
was
It
really,
was really good, yeah.
evocative.
Yeah.
They changed it though. Instead of in the movie, it's an olive tree or an olive branch, and in the book, it's an orange.
Wow.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Which I would think like the vibrancy of oranges too would make sense for their location more than.
I agree.
Olive.
Yeah, it fits the setting better. Maybe olive.
In the biblical sense, with
Yeah,
isn't the dove, the olive branch in the dove's mouth on Noah's Ark when they find land?
Yes.
Is that it?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think
You're like, I
right.
don't know.
Didn't y'all go to Catholic school? You don't know?
We did, but I forget a lot of what I learned.
I think it's a sad moment, but it's funny, is when Maxine is being questioned about something and she's like, well, I'm still,
Well, she's offered them the chance to work there,
right?
right? And she's going to go off.
Them being Hannah and Shannon to take over her resort.
Yes.
And then she has a moment where she says,
She's still a beautiful woman if she could just find a decent beauty parlor.
and then she runs off into another room
And then I love that she can't open the door. She's like, oh.
and breaks the lamp. Yeah. That's a really good scene.
I'm a young woman. I'm attractive, too, if I can get to a decent beauty parlor. Don't you worry about the winter flop. She'll have a ball.
But then she says to Hannah, like, you can run it, but on one condition.
We need a man here.
You cannot run a hotel without a man here. But she declines, and then, of course, Shannon says he'll stay.
Then what? Maxine's been running it. Like,
Well, no, because her husband just died,
And
so
it's off season,
off-season.
so
Which is it actually off season, or is she just saying that?
I don't know.
She didn't say it was off season. She said we're not
We're
open in
closed in
August.
August.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's her like break time.
And that reminds me, when she charges Hannah the $6, she says it's the like
American rate, yeah. I caught that too.
Also in the play, they imply, they don't really draw out the ending like that, where Maxine doesn't present it as a choice to Hannah. It's sort of just like Hannah's like, it wouldn't work for us to be together, and leaves. And then the Reverend goes off with Maxine, and it's kind of implied he will stay. But she does say something to him like, if you were to stay here with me, you could help with the husband's wives when they come to stay. You're really good at that.
Oh.
So implying that, yes, they're going to be together, they're going to live this life as one, but neither of them is really going to change.
I would love to hear more if you have differences between the play and the movie.
As we're talking, they're percolating up. It was pretty similar, I would say. There were
Okay.
just small things that were different, except for the very odd inclusion of the fact that at the resort, there are some Nazis staying there.
Yeah, they're like a Nazi family, right?
Yes.
And they sing songs a lot.
They sing a lot. They listen to the news a lot.
What do you think the function of that was?
I kind of, every time it because the fact that Maxine was kind of tolerating them there, it just made me angry. And so I kind of like quickly read, I didn't want to read about what they were doing.
I closed my eyes when I was reading that part. Were they singing on the bus in the movie also? Because I wonder if there's some like connection.
Yeah, they mentioned that, I don't know, they don't have a scene of them on the bus, but they say that they're they go to that Baptist school and they're a choir.
Yes.
So that they would be singing.
I wonder if there's
Interesting.
supposed to be some connection between that group and the
Yeah.
Nazi group. I don't know what it would be.
I think I just had a thought, maybe if the idea is that you're embracing sin, is that what's going on? That it's like, okay, everyone in this place can be tolerated for all
interesting.
behavior.
The woman on the bus, though, I don't feel like they were embracing.
No, but like they're the people at the resort. and the people who stay at the resort and want to be there.
Like it's a safe space for everyone.
Yes. Because they did mention that a lot of Nazis were, which I think is historically accurate. We're going to...
Yeah, like South America, Mexico, there were a lot of Germans hiding there.
Yes.
Fleeing persecution.
These people in the play weren't hiding, really, their preferences and affiliation, but...
Right, but no one was really... If people weren't searching for them.
No, it was too early for that.
Interesting.
Wait, Joe, I had a question for you. Beyond Miss Fellows, you were saying that you were expecting this to kind of have a queer angle. Do you feel like at the end that you were able to see one?
Yeah, I was just so focused on waiting for like Shannon to be gay this whole time because I was like, why? He's like always so flustered. He's never like quite explaining what's going on, that Charlotte's not coming on to him. So it's like, does he want to pretend that like women or these young girls are interested in him because he's like desirable, but he actually desires men? But in terms of like queerness in other people, I'm assuming there's like something that stood out to you, Allison.
Well, I was just curious if anybody had, like, I do have an interpretation where you can kind of see some queer themes in it, but I just was curious because I also, like you, thought maybe Shannon would be queer coded in a more, I mean, I think you can make the argument that he is, but in a more kind of like in a Suddenly Last Summer way where it's not coding at all. And I thought that because there was a line where he said, they're like, why do you do that with the young women? He's like, I don't really want them. I don't want anyone.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
But in the end, I have a very different. I think I have something else, but I don't. I didn't ask the question just to explain my idea. So I'd love to hear other people's thoughts. And I guess because you said you were like, I was expecting this, and I thought maybe at the end you came away with a different interpretation.
What else is gay about this movie?
I think I think trying to reconcile duty and desire.
Yeah.
I just think none of the people in this really have, maybe Maxine, but nobody really has control over their sexuality.
I think finding a safe space like the Reverend, I'm going to call him the Reverend because I don't believe he should have been defrocked, but the Reverend, I think him going to Ava Gardner's resort was like him finding a safe space.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because
that feels queer coded.
He's looking for Fred, like basically on a dry out emotionally, and only he can help me with that.
Yeah, I guess I had the same thought, especially compared to like Suddenly Last Summer, where if you look at it as like two Tennessee Williams plays, and in one, your desire leads to death and terrible, horrible, tragic ending. In this play, even though he's not explicitly a queer character, he can't control his desires. And there's kind of more of a almost religious conclusion to this movie where it's sort of like he's met with grace and understanding. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of creating this like space for spirituality to be tied to carnality, which I liked. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what was percolating for me.
Can you imagine if Tennessee Williams had lived through that AIDS epidemic, like the kind of stories he would have told?
You're right. Yeah, he died in 1983, I think. But even towards the end of also part of his falling out of favor was, the queer liberation movement was he never really came out as explicitly gay when it mattered. I think he'd always been seen as somebody that, as part of the previous generation was closeted. But yeah, I think there was definitely a falling out of favor, which also affected his work and plays that were being produced. So by the time of his death, because we talked a little bit about this before, had he ever, if he had this kind of zenith of critical and commercial success, and then it went downhill, did it stay that way through his death, or was there another peak? I don't think there was, because the 50s were definitely, that's his 2 Oscar nominations for Streetcar and Baby Doll. If you've never seen Baby Doll, Elia Kazan film with Carol Baker, which is excellent. Yeah, that through this is 64. I think by the late 60s, he'd already kind of he was old hat by then. Throughout the 70s, I don't think there were any major Tennessee Williams adaptations. But then, you see Paul Newman directed a Glass Menagerie adaptation that's pretty good with his wife, Joan Woodward. There have been tricklings in and out, but I think what you see are a lot of TV remakes. Like there's at least 2 TV remakes of Streetcar that I can think of, and
I was watching the Suddenly Last Summer one.
With
pretty
Maggie
good.
Smith.
Yeah.
I've never seen that version.
I
Actually,
was watching clips of it. It's pretty good.
I think I was always, since I love the original so much, but I should, because isn't Natasha Richardson?
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa.
Maggie Smith.
And then the guy in it was Rob Lowe plays the Monty
Rob
Python
Lowe. Okay.
character, yeah.
Interesting.
Whoa.
I need to watch that.
Natasha Richardson and her sister.
Jolie, or are you thinking about her mother, the Redgraves?
I'm thinking of the Redgrave sisters.
That's Natasha's mom. Yeah.
And their Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
They did do Whatever Happened to Baby Jane remake. That's not very good, but very entertaining.
And very gay because
There's a queer video store clerk.
who does drag.
Interesting.
Yeah, 1991.
I find it, I mean, it happens to many artists, but I find it sad that I feel like Tennessee Williams is sort of you hear that name today and you're like, oh, that's one of the people that we think about when we think about literature, theater, but to have an experience where you think that you're passé and you kind of, that's the end of your life and you never kind of know your significance later on, I find that sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, from a period when a playwright was actually a household name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Edward Albee, Tennessee Williams. I think I read in preparation for today, like James Garner said in sometime in the 90s that he had been offered Night of the Iguana and he said he passed on it because it was just too Tennessee Williams.
Yes, I saw that quote too, and it made me laugh.
I think that meant gay. It seemed to, like, it's
Yeah.
talky and verbose and over the top and flamboyant. And I think that, you know, there was a certain component of people that was what they thought.
I don't like that.
Oh, and also Joni Mitchell. I tried to listen. I only gave it the briefest of listens before this, but apparently Joni Mitchell has a Night of the Iguana piece of music that is
Really?
also in homage to this play.
Oh.
I don't know how, but apparently that's out there.
I almost want to say we need to stop and do a little listening party. And then
Well, as you two have both read the play, like, were there more, like, homo erotic, or were there more, like queer undertones in the play versus the movie?
Again, I haven't read this since probably 2006, but I don't remember that. Allison might know more.
no, I just think thematically, yeah, in the movie, I don't know if it was Burton's performance or what was going on, but I didn't really think about this until I was reading it on the page. But there's something about how at the end feels so religiously charged, but it's also outside of the church intentionally, and it's between these two people who it felt spiritual. It felt like a moment of grace. It felt almost like she references the crucifixion. It was taking these questions of sexuality and struggling with who you are and your desires and all the things that make us human and saying that there is God too, you know, which I think the subtext that maybe Williams was trying to put in there was including queerness. But of course, he didn't say that. But if you're going to, especially with Hannah's character's kind of strange stories of her own sexual experiences. And then Shannon calls the second story with the article of clothing creepy. And then she goes, no, it's not creepy. Or she says sad, but it's not creepy. And that's when she says the line about humanness. So that was just, to me, it felt much more explicitly, or no, subtextually about how there can be something holy in being queer or spiritual.
Well, yeah, within this resort, this kind of paradise, there can be a union of the sacred and profane.
Yes.
And they can exist.
Yes.
Peace. They can coexist.
That was a great way to put it. That, yes. Exactly. So, but no, I don't think that there was anything else I noticed in the play earlier on that, except that I came away thinking that Miss Fellows probably was supposed to have a different look and maybe have a little slightly different energy because of there were more references to the fact that she was probably gay, and I just felt, yeah, like Nick was saying, that it must have been like an energy / look, very visibly queer without knowing it.
Like how? How would you describe her look?
I don't know, because my mind goes to what what we might see in 2025, but I feel like perhaps there was a look back in the day that I'm not going to know anything about that would suggest a more masculine presenting woman. And I didn't feel like Miss Fellows, yes, I felt like the line from the earlier scene that made me think, like when she's talking, the pillow talk scene, she specifically says, I wouldn't harm you for all the worlds, or something like that. And I just thought that was kind of, I'm like, huh, what a weird thing for her to say. And then, yeah, with her staring in the ocean, I definitely felt the queer vibes before they brought that up in the story explicitly. But I don't know without those two beats if I would have picked up on that.
But yeah, like as a Baptist woman, I mean, she wouldn't be wearing pants. You know, I think she would still be attempting to be ladylike, but maybe failing at it miserably.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I guess I
think Grayson Hall looks, just looking at her and even how she's behaving, my automatic thought was not lesbian outside of the context of the relationship with this girl. But
yes, agreed.
I texted you this too when you said you were reading the play. When Shannon starts having more of a breakdown, he starts using the word fantastic a lot.
Yes, that actually, Joe, I was going to text you. And maybe you could tell me if this line was in the movie, because I didn't text you because like maybe this line was in the movie. He says fantastic, and then Hannah says back to him, that's your favorite word.
Yeah. No, that's why it stuck out to me. Because he kept saying it. But it's almost in like, because I always associate the word fantastic to be like awe-inspiring, positive, but I guess it could also just, something could be fantastically bad too. So it kind of has like it
can have the opposite.
It could be good or bad.
Or it could be a tone thing, it's fantastic. But
this, I don't know why it's stuck in my mind all these years, but in Gone Girl, the guy who stars in it, he like does the interview at the end and he wants to use the word fantastic. Tyler Perry says, don't use the word fantastic for whatever reason. Because I guess you can, it can have a positive or negative meaning.
Wow, that is quite the reference. That's a deep dive.
That is a deep dive.
Because is it Ben Affleck that's being interviewed about?
Affleck,
yes, because it's about his missing wife.
It's so funny though. It always rings true in my mind. Whenever I send like an email, I want to use the word fantastic. I'm like, no. I remember he say don't use it in Gone Girl, so I cannot use that word.
That could be taken the wrong way. Interesting. I mean, do we like Richard Burton? To me, I feel like I'm infinitely more interested in the women besides Sue Lyon. But Richard Burton just seems kind of like, I mean, if you haven't seen anything else that he's in, it's very Richard Burton-y.
It's just like I can like just like see the sweat on him. And he's always just like flustered and can't quite explain the situation. I'm just like, get it out, like get your lines out.
Just uncomfortable.
Yeah,
yes,
uncomfortable at all times, yeah.
I feel like I know people like him who are a wreck. Mm-hmm. And who would say things like fantastic because it's like, let's just pretend everything's fine.
Yeah.
Even though we're on the Titanic.
He's glossing over everything, yeah.
And then I guess because I'm familiar with Richard Burton, it did feel like, oh, well, that's him.
Yeah.
Kind of a wreck.
You need to watch Equus.
Stiffy in the Wind.
But
wait, is Equus the horse?
Yes.
Play?
Mm-hmm,
that's the one where Daniel Radcliffe was nude on stage.
Yes. I had no idea. I thought that was written around the time that Daniel Radcliff started it, so it's a much older.
But the line I said was what? Stiff in the wind, I want to be inside you. Yeah, that's right.
No, it's the 70s. Peter Schaefer, and I want to see the movie version's like 77, but it's odd.
There's a movie version also?
Yeah, with Richard Burton.
Is this guy completely nude the whole time?
He's naked on a horse. He is sexually turned on by the horses. Okay. And Jenny Gutter from An American Wolf in London and Logan's Run is a young nurse involved. It's very dark play.
Yeah.
That suddenly made me. I never really had any desire to watch it. I always think of it as the Daniel Radcliffe
got naked
nude play, but that description made me kind of want to. I kind of do want to read it now.
I've been wanting to rewatch it forever. I have it in a stack of favorites.
Make a good Patreon selection.
But yeah, it's worth it. It's interesting.
And then you mentioned that you don't think that Shannon should have been defrocked.
Well, from the film, what I understood is that he was accused of something he's saying is not true, that's not how it fully went, right?
I thought he was saying that he did sleep with this.
I thought he did do it.
Did I misinterpret that?
Well, he doesn't come right out and say it in so many words, but I think I assumed that transgression had happened. That's why she.
Well, I don't know the rules of
It said she was a school teacher, but she was like
She was of age.
Was she? I thought she was underage.
Oh, was she under? I thought they said
Okay, I don't want to get canceled. If he did have sex with an underage school Sunday
But it
school
was
person.
confusing dialogue because it was like he was calling her a school teacher, but it sounded like a Sunday school teacher
Yes.
and someone who might be like 16 or 17.
like a volunteer.
I
teacher.
want to retract my statement. Defrock him.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Team Defrocked.
I wasn't
I'm on Team Defrock.
I was locked out.
He can be spiritual. He can be, a man of God, but I feel like there are rules
Yes,
to be
yes.
pastor.
But that's what I thought. That's why I was so surprised on first watch when I was so dead set on being like, he's got to be gay by the end of this. I thought it was going to be a story of all these times he was misunderstood, how he keeps ending up alone with these young girls, but then it turns out he's gay the whole time. That's justification that it's like the evidence in a way that he didn't sleep with these people because he's not interested in women. But then in the end, for him to not be gay, I was like, oh, this is a lot darker.
But imagine the weird
realized.
energy of like a Richard Chamberlain on stage playing that, because there'd be even more kind of this gay man. Well, he wasn't out then, but this gay man playing this character.
We've been watching The Thornbirds. Are you familiar?
No.
Oh, God.
The Thornbirds.
It's about a priest who falls in love with a little girl.
And waits for her.
Waits for her. It's an epic.
It was a very famous novel from the 70s, and then in 1983 it was a huge miniseries with Richard Chamberlain. But it's interesting.
We've been reviewing it episode by episode on Patreon.
Yeah, I read the book.
But it's so tawdry. And Richard Chamberlain, of course, was gay.
Yes.
So the idea of him playing
this priest
from
who loves a child,
The Night of the Iguana, is interesting.
Interesting. Well, are there any actors in this
who are gay?
Yeah.
Not that I know.
Okay.
One of the Maracas guys had to be. I want to believe.
When they were presented to, I was like, oh, that's going to be the temptation for Shannon.
Sure.
But then it was not.
Joe was writing a whole nother movie.
I was writing a whole other movie. I was pulling too much from Suddenly last summer with this movie.
I think just maybe maybe the queer reverence for like an Ava Gardner or maybe even Deborah Carr. But, actually there's a lot of really hetero energy that Skip Ward, who had produced Playboy stuff in the 90s, and then Emilio Fernandez was the Mexican director, was a very machismo kind of person. So those are very masculine energies kind of going on in this film that are not, kind of rare maybe. But
And they're like about to show like a threesome in the water with Maxine and the
two young men in the Maracas.
Yeah.
She looked great. I love when she comes back and she looks all wet.
Yeah, it was a good look. Yeah.
Kind of that smoky eye. Yeah, fantastic. But yeah, that's... And then how she stormed off was like, I'm going to go have sex.
Yeah.
Like, okay, in the ocean. Interesting, at night.
And then, it's interesting too how you point out that Sue Lyon was in Lolita.
That's some typecasting, for sure. I mean, she did other things. Oh, and another weird thing is she was dating Hampton Fancher, who wrote the screenplay for Blade Runner. I think that's what he's best known for. But apparently Hampton Fancher was visiting the set all the time as well, and John Huston was getting upset about that.
Oh,
interesting.
So I think there was a lot more going on, I think, behind the scenes than the actual drama of the film itself.
Were there like only 50 people in Hollywood at this time? Because I feel like this movie alone,
right,
Blade Runner, there's all these connections to things that I would never think would be connected.
It's weird, picking... especially all these old movies, just looking at even the lady with the dysentery, Mary Boland is, I think, her name. She was a character actor in a ton of stuff. She's in The Exorcist. She's in like you've seen her face and things. It's really, it's interesting to me.
Well, I'm so glad you brought up the dysentery, because that's another huge plot thing in this. Which was dysentery mentioned? This was the question that I had about the play versus movie. Was dysentery mentioned in the play?
It was
okay.
The same thing where I gave you the handouts where I told you what not to eat.
Because I believe The African Queen was filmed before this.
Also John Huston.
John Huston, which I don't know if you guys have listened to the podcast, What Went Wrong.
Oh, I know I think I know the story you're going to say.
Katharine Hepburn actually got dysentery.
She was so mad at Bogart and John Huston because they would just drink all day.
Yeah.
And she was prim and proper, also apparently a closeted lesbian. But she was drinking the water and she...
Yes, ironically, because they were drinking alcohol, they were immune, and then she got dysentery. Mm-hmm. So then I was wondering, John Huston directed both, I wonder, but it sounds like it was in the play, but I was like trying to make that connection.
Because African Queen is before this. I want to say 57.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be a joke of his as well.
I'm a little concerned that you are all having wine, I'm having water.
Yeah.
Allison, does your copy of the play have an Emily Dickinson poem on the title page?
Yeah, I forgot about that. It did. I read it as a PDF online.
Okay, so now, interesting.
We could read it, I suppose.
Yeah, you should read it.
I should read it? Oh. No, you should read it from the book because I feel like that will look nice.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to me.
I haven't cracked this paperback open in years and years and years, but I was looking at it today and I'm like, oh, it starts with an Emily Dickinson poem, which I think is interesting. Like, why didn't he just have his own poem? Like, from the oldest poet in the world. So it's untitled because it's Emily. And so, as kinsmen met a night, we talked between the rooms until the moss had reached our lips and covered up our names.
What does that mean to you?
Death reaches you and covers up everything. No? I don't know.
I'm not good at deciphering poetry.
It's like, yeah.
It's hard.
My brain scrambles.
My best attempt here will be to say this is a play ends with two characters having a dark night of the iguana. and moss, I mean, it's an evocative image, right? It covers you up, kind of like if you were to die.
Oh, yeah.
Or like moss over a gravestone covering the names.
Yes.
Like soon we'll all be overtaken by it.
Yeah, I feel like they have this moment where the two characters are talking about how they have this they share this deep-seated sense of panic, and they're always worried about what's going to happen. Maybe they fear death. And then Hannah says the bit about how you could find home in another person, and that's what she's done with her grandfather, and that makes everything okay, but he still dies. So I think that's what I kind of interpret the poem to be about, how we have these nights where we connect and we feel like everything's okay, but it doesn't stop the ending. It just makes us feel safe until that ending comes.
Speaking of, can someone confirm this story takes place over, like it's only one night has passed at the resort?
It seems like a pretty short amount of time.
I think so. Maybe, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because on the cover of the DVD we had, it says something about one night.
Okay.
I'm like, wow.
And they were supposed to, Hannah and her grandfather were supposed to leave the next day to go.
That's right.
Maxine was going to call a taxi or something
That's
like
right.
that.
But like no matter good or bad or pleasures or pain, like death's going to come no matter what. And it's all going to end.
So we need people in our lives until then, or else the fear will get us.
To chase the spooks away.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Spooks.
They're like, he's spooked.
The Fantastic Spooks. That's a good movie title.
Do we know how this movie...
How it did? I think it had mixed reception. Like I said, the New York Times review was not very kind, but it had positive reviews as well. And, 5 Oscar nods. But, I think it's very telling when the least famous person gets nominated for the Oscar of this huge cast. And, this is the same year, too, as Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte. So Grayson Hall was up against Agnes Moorehead for Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte, the only one to get an Oscar nod from that movie. The voters are saying something with who they nominate, which is interesting, but to me. But yeah, like Deborah Carr or Ava Gardner. I think Ava Gardner, why wasn't she nominated?
She was so good.
I thought she was excellent. She's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I wrote down that Tennessee Williams called this film the first film of mine that captures the play's dignity.
Oh,
interesting.
I don't know if I agree, Mr. Williams.
Well, but the thing is, all of his stuff
I think the play has a lot of dignity. I just don't know if I felt it in the movie.
I don't agree with that either, but thinking back on the time, maybe this was the most similar from stage to screen, whereas everything else was really butchered.
I could get behind that.
Oh.
Cat on Hot Suddenly Last Summer was altered a ton. I mean, we know what they're talking about, but at that time, they're talking about things in such a circuitous way that it was like, what? Procured? What? How? And then, of course, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof was extremely altered, and Streetcar was altered. So maybe that's why he thought that.
Don't tell me Boom. Was Boom altered?
Boom. God, why can't I think of his name?
Please tell me Boom was spared.
Boom. Which... Have you ever seen it?
No.
I think we have to do it next.
The play that it's based on is called The Milk Train Doesn't Stop Here Anymore.
Great title.
And Tallulah Bankhead, I think, was on stage.
The Milkman Doesn't Stop.
The Milk Train Doesn't Stop Here Anymore.
Was that before or after the doorman rings twice or whatever?
The postman always rings twice. Oh, that's James Cain. That was definitely before. What? God, why can't I think of the gay man's name? It's driving me crazy.
From
He plays a character named Sissy Goforth
in which movie?
in Boom.
Oh,
And that's not a drag queen.
And it's not a drag queen, but it should be.
Wait, what's the character's name?
Sissy Goforth.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Old homosexual.
Noel
Coward. Yes. I'm embarrassed I couldn't remember his name, but yeah, very gay. Wrote a ton of great plays. Yeah.
It just is so weird to me that Tennessee Williams was alive when these movies were made and could be at the premiere. It's just kind of a weird concept to me.
Mm-hmm. God, I want to say he was also president of the Cannes Film Festival one year. They don't
really?
They don't have
Wow.
They don't have playwrights to do that.
No, I wish we still lived in a world where plays had a bigger cultural
impact. But I mean, every now and then, you get like a Lin-Manuel Miranda or
Cole Escola.
Yes.
Have you guys seen?
No, I haven't seen Oh Mary, but
Allison's seen it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what did you
did.
think?
I liked it a lot. Cole was in it, but I think it was like the last few weeks before it changed to somebody else.
That's a treat.
It's so weird.
I know, I was lucky. I was very lucky.
Yeah.
I should have gotten. When was I in New York with Jordan? June. I took my sister to New York. We were staying in the hotel like 2 doors down from that venue where Oh Mary is, but.
So that'd be too tempting to.
I know I should have.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything.
But they've had really cool people replace him, so I would also be excited.
They have.
Yeah,
Because Jane Krakowski, Jinx Monsoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth. I hope that because I think that this year they're doing. What was the play? Merrily We Roll Along. Is that
Yes, they're making that into a movie,
Three's
right?
Company. What's it called? With Jonathan Groff and Daniel Radcliffe.
Merrily We Roll Along.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that's
it.
They're gonna release.
They're going to release it in theaters.
Yeah.
So I hopefully they'll do that with O'Mary eventually.
Oh, like they just filmed the stage.
A staging of it.
Yes, I'm so excited.
That's how I watched Cats growing up. As we watched
God.
Broadway. The like '98 tape.
Yeah.
I've seen so many like touring productions of Cats.
I was just looking that up
And
actually.
everything is better than the movie. Even I've seen a production of Cats on a cruise ship.
That's better.
And that was better than the movie.
I believe it. That movie was bad. But Cole Escola is writing a Miss Piggy movie.
I'm so excited.
Emma
Produced
Stone
by Emma Stone and Jennifer
J-Lo,
Lawrence.
yeah.
Like what a combination. Yeah, it's so funny. With Cole specifically, I've seen they were like on so many like episodes of Amy Sedaris's show. So I love them on that. And then they also were in that really weird TV show that Some Girl Goes Missing. Search Party.
Oh yeah, with
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize
Yeah, that was my introduction, I think, to Cole was when they showed up in Search Party.
Yeah, I like
Oh
that.
my
Aaliyah
gosh,
Shawkat
I love Search Party.
Yes.
is the lead,
Yes.
right? Yeah, she's very funny.
I love her. Arrested Development forever.
Yeah.
I'm curious with The Night of the Iguana, like what about the story do you think you would change, or like what were you disappointed in with the story? I know for me, I wish we would have gotten to know the women on the bus more. Because it almost feels like Tennessee Williams if he wrote like White Lotus or something.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that we focused more on the ladies because they were interesting.
Make this into a rich mini-series where we can
Yes.
explore
Yes.
every character.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was only really like Judith, Charlotte, and then the woman who I forget her name.
With the
who was always
distant-
screaming
yeah.
help.
Yes.
And yeah, there were other women on the bus, but they all just were kind of
They blend
there to show
together.
that they were a group of people singing
Yeah.
that song. I also love the mention of them saving money from the Presbyterian Women's College to
Like-
go on this trip, and it's
Right.
been squandered. So I could, with Judith too, like it is kind of tragic that
We saved all this money, and this is it.
And this is the trip.
I mean, I'd be mad too.
I'd
Yeah.
be really
But didn't
upset.
the one lady say like, oh, I almost don't want to leave this
Yeah.
resort?
She's tempted to.
Yeah, like she was having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like out of all of these that could be remade, and some that have been, I think this one could be pretty ripe for a remake, actually. I think somebody could really add some things to it.
Yeah. It's
think
this movie though, like I've suddenly last summer when you recommended that we talk about it, I'd never heard that movie before. But The Night of the Iguana, like that title, like I like recognized it, and I wonder why. I wonder if it's the Joni Mitchell soundtrack
Maybe.
that she made for it.
I think it's known to be maybe because of Tennessee Williams' own thoughts about it, but it's known to be the best adaptation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's certainly more evocative, a title. Like, I mean, I remember hearing the title as a child and it sticks in your mind. Like, whereas Suddenly Last Summer, like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't...
Suddenly Last Summer sounds like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't...
It's the prequel.
the prequel.
But Night of the Iguana, you're like, what happens on the Night of the Iguana? I need to know.
Yeah, what's this goddamn lizard doing?
Yeah, I guess what I would change about... I think Charlotte's acting for me wasn't the best. If I could kind of tweak that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's stiff. She's,
It just feels like she's very like speaking on the stage too. Like she's like projecting a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's where it was like hard for me to really lock in.
Because even in Lolita, you know, that character is that's a teenage girl that an older man's obsessed with. So that's fine to be passive and acted upon. This is a character that's calling for, she's the aggressor.
Yeah.
Somebody like a Carol Baker who was in Baby Doll, and maybe she would have been too old by this time, but it's like somebody like that I feel could have had that balance of desperation and also kind of despicable. Like she's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say this, but the way that she is portrayed as the aggressor who's forcing the Reverend into the situation, I could buy a character like that, but I would need to see something in, like, it doesn't work because like he just seems like he would be able to say no to her.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Could she have been a little like more innocent and just happen to find herself like trustworthy with someone who said like he's a Reverend?
She has a need that maybe isn't particularly sexual. That there's like but she needs protecting maybe.
And then he's grappling. He's worried because he just got
his hand slapped.
And he's now like alone in a room with this girl, and then he's like tempted. But something is kind of off with the fact that she's like kind of going for it.
Yeah, I'd love to see Paul Schrader do his Master Gardener's Tennessee Williams-ish, but because to me, like Ethan Hawke could play the Burton character very well, I think.
Oh.
Because he played that fallen priest in First Reformed, and he does have a relationship with the pregnant Amanda Seyfried. But I think that I think Ethan Hawke is quite...
And who would you pick for Maxine?
Oh, I'd have to think.
And Hannah?
Oh, I could come up
and
with
Judith?
somebody. Oh, there'd be plenty of women.
Oh, God.
There'd be plenty of...
A buffet.
Katie O'Brien could be... No.
Oh. Are you familiar with Katie O'Brien?
That sounds really familiar.
She's in that film Love Lies Bleeding with Kristen Stewart.
Yes.
I think she is so appealing.
Yes.
Where? She hasn't been in anything else really.
Oh, no, she's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
in the new The Running Man. I really like her vibe.
I think she's fun in Running Man. Because they'd let her play a lesbian.
Yeah, she's like a really aggressive lesbian.
Would you change anything, Nick?
Yes, I would. Like Sue Lyon, cut her out immediately.
Cut it out.
Oh my God, I can't stand her. It's just, I think she's almost kind of ruinous. And actually Richard Burton, I would have preferred somebody, I don't know, a little more ambiguous, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Monty Clift, even in Suddenly Last Summer, is kind of not all there seeming, but somebody like that, a little more, less aggressive. I don't know. Richard Burton always reads very aggressive to me.
100%. This is a small difference between the play and the movie. It's not really even a difference. But the when you realize he's peed on one of the women's suitcases in the movie, it comes off like a little boy at summer camp. But in the play, I was like, wow, this man's really falling apart. This man, he needs help. You know, I felt bad for him when I read it in the play, and in the movie, I was so annoyed.
Well, in the film, it's confusing.
It's really, I didn't know what happened the first time I watched it because it's on Maxine's face the whole time, and she's laughing, and you just hear the woman screaming, and it's not until Maxine kind of says a line to Hannah that explains, even a dog, or I've seen a dog, something.
Yeah, like I'd say,
I
was
felt
like,
the same way.
What happened? Why are we? But again, that scene is very much, that's like Murray, what's his face in White Lotus, right? Pooping in that.
Yeah, it is.
That is a very adolescent way to act out.
Yeah.
I would like to know, like Joe said, why wasn't this shot in color?
Yeah.
That's odd to think of. Because, you know, what is it? Suddenly Last Summer's 59. You know, because like Some Like It Hot, they chose to film in black and white because the makeup looked garish on the men. But yeah, it's odd that mid-60s.
Well, I don't have the exact quote, but I think there was something where John Huston had mentioned later on in life that he regretted not filming it
In color.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because you're really not making use of the location at all.
Yeah.
Well, especially for Nono's character and his granddaughter saying that he wanted to be buried in such a beautiful green place.
Yeah.
But Huston did work with the cinematographer again. That does make more use of an exotic location with Under the Volcano with Albert Finney.
That's in color.
That's in color.
He learned.
He did learn.
I'm never
yes.
gonna let this happen again.
That's why he did work with Gabriel Figueroa again. Too.
We gotta do it right this time.
Let's get it. I haven't seen that in forever.
Because there's times where like black and white really is effective. Like Suddenly Last Summer again is a perfect example of like this like gothic southern movie. Like I think it really like works well in that. And then even like the title "The Night of the Iguana," like I kind of anticipate like a really like colorful movie.
Well, even like the book cover.
Now, is this one made after the movie was made? Does it have images of the?
No. Well, actually, yeah, there are film stills.
Oh yeah.
Probably released in conjunction with, which means this isn't 61. This is a reprint. This says 61. What does that say?
I should request a refund.
Well, from wherever I bought it was $2.49.
Get your $2.
Get your $2.
Probably a used bookstore.
Well, are there any ending thoughts we have about The Night of the Iguana?
I know you two don't score films, but I want to for Letterboxd. What would you give this movie?
I already scored it.
What did you give it?
It's a 3 for me.
Oh, I think it's quite good. I would give it 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
But
I agree. I think it is quite good as well. But compared to like Cat, Streetcar, Suddenly, those are all superior to me. Boom is more fun.
We need to do Boom.
I want to talk about Boom.
It's just Elizabeth Taylor yelling.
Well, yeah, that's why I think we chose Night of the Iguana over Boom this time, because we like Elizabeth Taylor's in Something Last Summer, and so I kind of want to like shuffle some of the actors that were involved.
Sure.
I mean, it sounds like a fun movie.
There's like dialogue, and then Richard Burton going boom, boom. He just says that all the time. Boom. Have you seen Pink Flamingos?
Yes.
Because John Waters is a big fan of Boom, but there's a scene, it's in the house where Divine is rubbing herself all over Mink Stoll's house, but there's a big poster of Boom.
No,
in that scene.
Missed that. The interconnection once again of all these movies. I mean, if I were rated 2, I'd probably give it like a 3 out of 5. I thought it was like really good, not bad, but
but lacking a certain something, I think I needed to send it. But certainly a lot that I really like, and again, Ava Gardner,
really solid.
Yeah, really solid.
And I really liked the point to it, Allison, when you brought up the dynamic of not only the like young and old relationship between Charlotte and Shannon, but also with the grandfather, granddaughter, Maxine, Fred. I thought that was like a really interesting parallel between that two.
Because something we didn't really talk about was that there's another way of looking at the play being about how when you get to a certain age, you kind of have to just accept, the reality versus the fantastical plane of like who you think you're going to be and what your life's going to be like. And you'll probably be happier if you stick with the real.
Yeah.
And find love and comfort where you can.
Said fantastical, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then that speaks so true to Hannah, as we said before, how she just, about being poor, just kind of like that's the way it is, kind of accepting where you are currently.
Yeah, her reality.
Absolutely.
That's a nice note.
Profound.
Well, that is our episode on The Night of the Iguana. Nick and Joseph, thank you so much for joining us. What's on the docket? Any movies that you guys talked about recently that you're excited to?
We have a review coming for a film called Surat.
Yeah, Surat was
that
great.
I think might be my favorite film of the year.
Really?
Whoa.
Excellent film.
Combined with, there's a Brazilian film called The Secret Agent.
Also excellent. Both were at Cannes this year. And what are we seeing?
Exciting.
Oh, Marty Supreme we see Friday.
Oh, I heard that's really good.
I heard that. Well, yeah, it's Safdie. Well, one of the Safdie brothers.
Did you see the other Safdie movie?
Smashing Machine.
Is it good?
Okay. It's okay.
Hamnet?
We saw Hamnet.
Did you like it? I love the book.
I wish I'd read it. I didn't make time. I think it feels a little overhyped, but Jessie Buckley's very good.
I saw it at AFI.
Okay.
You saw it, Joe?
Yeah, I saw it. I agree.
Yeah.
But then Chloe came out for a Q&A afterwards, and she gave the most amazing Q&A ever. I'm like, if she could have embodied more of that
In the
into
film.
the movie. But yeah, Jessie Buckley's amazing. But yeah, it definitely felt like, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm watching someone going for the Oscar. Instead of like, I like wasn't like, it's hard.
I was into it until the final act. Like when we get community theater Hamlet, I was not into that.
Yeah, that was not a good production round. It's fine. I think just the way, as soon as that movie premiered in Telluride, everybody has been raving. And so my expectations already were like, oh, I'm going to be blown away. And I was just like, it's fine.
Dangerous. When that happens.
It's fine.
And I gotta know, and then Allison, I didn't tell you this. Did you see Pillion yet?
Yes.
Did you?
It depressed the fuck out of me. But I liked it enough.
Okay, I drove all the way to Santa Clarita
Damn.
to see it.
Santa
They were
Clarita?
that was the only place they were showing a screening of it.
Wow.
We maybe another day we'll talk about it. I'm like so confused by the ending. It just seems to be.
Oh, where he finds the next one?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not seeing it until when? Tomorrow?
Okay.
Or
I don't know. You didn't respond to what I sent you.
I was like enthralled the entire time, but I'm just confused by the reaction people are giving to it online versus my experience watching.
Oh, what are they saying online?
They were like saying, I mean, I thought it was really hilarious, but they were saying it's the romantic comedy for like BDSM, and I was like,
it's a comedy?
No. I don't think so.
I mean, it's British. There's like some dry.
There is dry humor. There is humor for sure, but I still felt bad for him at the end.
Yes.
But he learned something about himself, and there's a hopeful ending. But
okay, I have questions about that. Did he learn something about himself?
I don't know. I hope so. Well, I think he learned.
Or was it Alexander Skarsgård is so incredibly hot that he was able to?
I think he learned boundaries. He learned what he was unwilling to do.
I didn't consider that.
It still kind of bummed me out. Like it's like I still wanted there to be some realistic conversations about psychologically what that might do for someone
Oh, now
in
I
the
need to
long
watch
run.
it.
But
Yeah, now I'm like,
I read the book that it's based on too. It's much different. The book's set in the 70s. So
It's a lot different.
It's a lot different. And I think his parents were not accepting at all, obviously. And in this one, he has very lovely parents.
I loved that element of it.
I did too. That was part of the sadness too. It's just like, oh, because of this, you can't. I feel like there are really interesting conversations to be had about it.
I think so too. But is it getting a wide release?
I don't think so.
I had to drive all the way to Santa Clarita to see this guy.
Has it been
Wait,
released
you just
yet?
saw a regular screening of it?
Yeah.
Why am I seeing it in a week?
Wasn't it awards? Because they screen things early
you said
too.
it was something special, Joe.
Was it at a theater?
I saw it at Lammy Newhall.
Oh, a Lomley Theater?
Yeah, that's the only, because I just typed in cat, because I didn't think it got released till later. I was like, it's already showing. I have to go all the way to Santa Clarita, even though I live in Los Angeles.
What did you do? You just drove to Santa Clarita, watched it, and came right back home?
Yeah.
Oh, bless your
And it
heart.
was like an evening screening too.
You didn't go get dinner or anything?
No.
That's an awards qualifying because the theatrical release is February 6th.
Oh, I got it really early.
Wow.
So I'm in there. I walk into this small. It probably only seats like 20 people, and there's this woman sitting in the back row. I go sit in the third row, and I'm just waiting for the movie to start. And then this other guy comes in. He's kind of older. I'm like, this is not the crowd I was anticipating for this movie. And it was just the three of us in this movie. And the woman starts making small talk with the guy. And she's like, what? Like, why are you seeing this movie? He's like, well, I love Alexander Skarsgård, and I'll see anything he's in. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you know what you're signing up for. And then he's like, why are you here? She's like, I'm trying to learn more about the LGBTQ plus community. I was like, did neither of you watch the trailer?
Damn.
It's definitely about the plus community.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was like, cracking up during, it's not a comedy per se, but it's just, there's just situations where it's humorous.
Yeah.
And they were dead silent. I was like, this is really intense. Anyway, we got a little sidetracked there.
We did, sorry.
Yes, please check out Fish Jelly.
We're on YouTube. We have a podcast on all platforms. We have a Patreon.
That's right.
Lots of varied content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Varied, yes.
We have merch,
We do.
as evidenced by our
I
attire.
love how you're featuring it here today. If you enjoyed this, listen to our episode about Suddenly Last Summer and our other summer-related movie, Stranger by the Lake.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'd say that The Night of the Iguana also kind of bakes into that summer theme.
Yeah.
How weird.
Summer tropical place where fantasy and pain commingle.
Please subscribe, and then, maybe comment with if you think that we should talk about Boom next or what other Tennessee Williams related piece of entertainment we should talk about. Anything else we should plug, Allison?
I think you should just maybe say our name, Queer Cinema Catchup.
Who we are.
One time, and then I think we're good.
Okay. This is Queer Cinema Catchup, our podcast about the Night of the Iguana with Fish Jelly. Please email us with questions, thoughts at queercinemacatchup@gmail.com. And we will see you another day, another evening.
Another Night of the Iguana.
Yeah.